So anyway, so we were talking about how to clean the energies. The energetics in the building wasn't adequate. One might say it was left something to be desired. And so what did you have to do?
So to correct that, sometimes you have to make openings where there are no openings, or sometimes you have to close openings, meaning door or window. And sometimes there is openings in an area that's not so good. For example, what I was saying, the northeast, southwest direction, the diagonal, is very important. This area is very important to keep it open and light, so it's good to have windows here, preferably all the way open. That would be really good. And in the southwest, to have it closed is really good. The reason for this is that there's energies coming from the east, from the sun, and there's also energies coming from the north, from the earth, because the earth has this magnetic field, and there's energies coming from there.
Is that like the torus, like the out of the poles and circulating, the ionosphere?
Yeah, so it has an influence on the earth and on all of us, and also that's the magnetic field, so there is an influence. So the sun comes energy from the sun very clearly, and the earth has a magnetic tail.
Yes.
And,
the poles are different, magnetic and true north.
Yeah, but it has also a magnetic tail. So these energies, they're clearly, people have made pictures of that, like in encyclopedia, you can check it out, it's in there too. So the sun has clearly an energy coming, so it's very subtle, but it is, it's there. So there's two energies, so coming from the north and coming from the east. So they come together in a plot or in a house. They come together from the east and from the north, so they come together in the northeast. And then they come into the plot or into the house, and they go to the southwest. So if the southwest is built properly, then you get a nice resonance of that energy. But if it's not, if it's wrongly done, and if the energy doesn't come in nicely, then the energy is distorted in a house or in a building or in a plot. And it's all very subtle, but people are more or less sensitive for that. So some people get really sick. It can cause cancer, or it can just cause disturbance. Babies can be disturbed by it. They can cry more. You can get quarrels easier.
So it can actually affect the domestic harmony.
Oh yes, yeah. So that's very important.
So then, what do you do to counteract a negative energetic?
To counteract it, it's the best to say, if the northeast is closed, to open it up, put actual windows in, and if the southwest is closed, this is only, I'm speaking about two directions only, but there's more directions, but this is the main one. So if the southwest is very open and it doesn't resonate properly back, then you have to close that corner, the southwest corner.
So in the building that you can't change, like the one we're discussing,
yeah,
you've put them in the yantras,
yeah,
in different spots on the walls.
yeah.
Are they opposite doorways, or what's the logic or the process, I should say?
Every direction has a planet. So, for example, in the east we have the sun rules, in the southeast Venus, in the south is Mars. So every direction has their own planet. So if there's any defects, for example here, then the planet that rules in that direction is affected in a negative way. So, and it's weakened, the planet is weakened. So then we work with yantras. If it's not possible to actually make the corrections physically, which often is not possible when people rent, or if they don't have the money to do it. So then we may work with the yantras to correct the energy and to strengthen that particular planet.
So let's talk a bit about the general yantras that you might use. Do you have any diagrams you could show us?
Yeah, I do. For example, this one here. It's the sun mantra. And the sun yantra rules in the east. And for example, it's also can affect people's heart, the career, mainly of the husband in the house, can affect the education for boys, because it's in east-south is in male direction, and then east-west is a male direction, and north-south is a female direction. So this is a yantra. And
this is the yantra to the sun.
for the east.
For the east,
sun.
for the
yeah,
sun.
for the sun. So, for example, if the east is blocked, then you would use that yantra. Or if there's a wrong slope in the east, it's ideal for the slope to go down in the east. But if it's not, then you can use that yantra too. It's always better if you can make the actual physical changes, like if...
But as you mentioned, that means that you bring in a Vastu Shastra expert before you build.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it means.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just a series of corrections.
Yeah, yeah. And
so show me some other, please, if you may, some of your other yantras. Just
okay.
go through them even one by one, perhaps.
Yeah. In order. I have to make order. This one is Venus. This one is for the southeast.
Mm-hmm.
So in the southeast, fire rules as well. So it's Venus and fire. So when there's defects, then it often, because Venus also rules over love life. So the husband and wife, if there's defects in the southeast, then there's often, there can be problems with the husband and wife. They can quarrel a lot.
So let's just think about this for a second. I'm just using a bit of tangential thought.
Mm-hmm.
You're essentially giving the same ingredients as Vedic astrology, which we would say is the mother of all astrology or astrological fields. And so therefore, if the astrology, it may not be problems between the persons in their astrological, it's actually in the Vastu of the building that can create domestic problems.
Both can, yeah.
So they're actually connected in real terms.
Yes, they
esoterically at least.
Yeah.
That Vedic, Vastu Shastra and Vedic astrology, in order for good human harmony, should be understood.
Yeah, exactly.
Person to
Yeah.
person.
So mainly because that's not really done anymore. Like if people get married, there's no charge done or anything generally these days. Also when they build their house, the houses of the people, they don't consult the Vastu.
No, there's a factory for making houses.
Yeah.
It's an industry.
Yeah.
And then they invite people come and buy.
Yeah.
In Melbourne, I noticed though that there was one Vastu Shastra architect.
Oh.
So he is actually in their floor plans. Their floor plans are going to be set to Vastu.
Yeah.
So there's a growing thing happening. It's starting.
Yeah.
Please go on with the yantras of the
Okay.
planets.
This is the southwest. This is Rahu.
Rahu. So
Rahu.
that's the north node of the moon, Dragon's Head. That's what that's known as.
Right.
Go on. So do you have K2 as well?
Yeah, K2
Okay.
is on the other side. So this is
Opposite.
in the southwest and K2 is in the opposite, in the northeast
Correct.
direction. So Rahu is a malefic planet, and Rahu can cause really big disturbances in people's life. So that's why we always do first the northeast southwest direction when I come at a house, and I check first the northeast south direction, because that's the main, can cause the main problems really. And Rahu can even, it can be very serious. It can even cause death if there's main big defects in a house or on a plot. And it's very, very serious. So So to make corrections, we use this, but I prefer to really check that area out. And then together, we always use, this is Nishingadev Yantra, this is a universal protection yantra. So they always go together. If there's any defects in the southwest, then these two yantras are used. So that's the direction for two yantras.
So, in your travels, or in your experience, I should ask,